Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest and greatest so far, Linda's Corner. We are going to talk about the topic that every project manager loves. There is nothing a PM enjoys more than spending hours and hours and hours trying to do status reporting. Well, I'm sorry, but I got some bad news for you. Clarity is going to make all those hours of meaningless work completely irrelevant because there is a better way. Linda, let's get straight into it. I work with clients and they have hundreds of projects, if not thousands of projects, and they need the ability to quickly get a summary status update to their stakeholders. How can Clarity assist us so that we're not spending those hours coming up with pretty graphs and nice tables that may or may not have accurate information in them?
I think we can do that. Let me share content here. A different screen here today, so I want to make sure I get the right one. All Absolutely. Right, let's jump into one of these. We'll use AARD. And I will, let's see, what are we doing today? Status. Okay, here we go. So now I'm in the status report. So you should see a status report. Yes, you do. And this is, and so automatically, because I have these tabs up here, Clarity creates the status report for you. And because we keep preferences, if I go out and come back in, it's going to stay the same until I move things around or, make any changes, which is pretty slick. So this one that I have set up, has some statuses at the top. Now, these are all manual in Clarity. It's not automated at this point in time, but I can change these. Maybe scope is no longer at risk and now it's on track, or, cost and effort status. Maybe that still needs help. So I can change things to be whatever I need, if that makes sense. So right before a meeting, a stakeholder meeting, whichever stakeholder meeting I have, I can quickly update that. I can also update anything in here, like you see how I've got status report update. I can, customize this for whatever group I'm meeting with. Same thing with key accomplishments. If I scroll down a little bit, I happen to have tasks in here. Now, maybe this is because the stakeholder meeting is a little more granular, right? And so I want to share that information with them. Or I have down here a staff narrative. And notice at the top, kind of like Word, right? I can make things bold. I've got font capabilities. You're going to start seeing that in a lot of places in Clarity where I can actually control what that text looks like. So I just copied and pasted in here. Maybe I'll copy and paste. Maybe I won't. Yes, I did. Oh, I'll copy and paste, and looks like I copy and pasted twice. So we'll get rid of the second one here. Definitely a user error day. So now you see I have both, right? So I can change this around to be whatever I want. And then if I want to make something bold, or change the font, again, you don't play with it typically all that often, but if I want to do that, I can. Then notice even further down here at the bottom, I've got a calendar, which shows the next 2 weeks. So it kind of depends upon how granular you want to get, but the point is, when you go into Clarity, your status report is already there, and you just move things around, update the data, and voila, no more consolidating and compiling data.
I love it. I mean, the ability to just sort of add in new features and functions and elements, and the ability to highlight things, just literally drag and drop stuff around and paste it in. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. And the idea that those 4 categories at the top are manual, I actually think that's a good thing, because just because the data says something is green or yellow or red doesn't necessarily mean that with the project manager's understanding of what might be happening, it's going to stay that way. So you want the ability to override. The data doesn't know that someone's just having a baby and going to be off for the next few weeks, or somebody's taking an extended vacation or whatever it might be. The data's not going to show that yet. But the PM knows it and can update and sort of provide a more accurate reflection of what's going on. So discombobulated or not, Linda, I think that is completely awesome. I also think discombobulated is pretty awesome, but there you go. All right, so we've seen how we can do these easy updates to status reports, and there's project managers around the world right now watching this going, what do I do with all my time? But every project is different. And depending on the audience that we're actually working with, there might be different metrics that we have to report. Resource owners care about different things than finance managers, for example. And we might need to highlight different areas before we distribute to some of those stakeholders. What can Clarity do to help us with that?
Definitely. We've got some pretty cool, slick things here that help you. So sharing my screen again. And you can see that it came back, right, because I left it there. So my preference came back to the same one. Now, over here to the right, I've got this little control and setting, which allows me to turn things on and off depending upon what I want. So let's get rid of tasks, and let's get rid of the next 2 weeks, and I'll update that. So now it's already smaller, and maybe I need to add a few more things for the group, and or I can customize it even further by moving these items around. I mean, I could move it all the way to the top if I wanted. If that was the key important thing, then I could do that. So I kind of can customize as I go along. Now I will add, let's see here, risks and issues. So we'll add risks and issues. And I probably should get rid of tasks, but I think they're gone. I already did get rid of them. Yeah. So on risks, there's a couple things I can do further. You see this little setting right here? Mm-hmm. So it's a configuration setting. So once I click on that, I could go even deeper if I wanted to. So let's add probability, because I think that's pretty key, and maybe impact. So we'll add 2 more columns. Okay, I like that. So now, because the stakeholder meeting I've got really just cares about risks. It's, higher level, and they just want to know, hey, how can we help you? Now, it's only got 2. If I go into the risks menu here, this is where it's coming from, include in status report. So let's include these 2, and now I'll go back to status reports, and you'll notice that I've got all 3. So that's pretty nice, right? So now I'm kind of really changing this to be just what I need for the particular stakeholders, so that we're really focusing on the risks. And again, if issues is something that I think, no, they don't really care about that, this group just wants to know about risks, and let's keep it simple and clean. So there you go. I've got it, and we're all set for that particular group.
And how easy was that? Literally a couple of clicks to add it, a couple of clicks to take other stuff out, a couple more clicks to configure everything to get exactly what you want. And we all saw, you just added in risks and issues, but there were so many different categories there that we can really start tailoring this down to the specific needs of every individual stakeholder. Just totally awesome. I am lost for words, and as anyone who knows me knows, that doesn't happen very often. All right, one more question. I'm going to stump you on status reports if I possibly can, Linda. We have stakeholder meetings that sometimes happen just because you happen to bump into the wrong person or the right person in the hallway, or have a virtual call with them these days, I guess. We don't always plan those status meetings, and sometimes we just need to provide something at a moment's notice. Does Clarity keep old reports, previous reports ready for us to be able to access and quickly print them out or share them with an audience?
It does. It does. So again, makes it really easy, right? Share my content again. All right. And you probably noticed this little preview button as we were going across further. So if I hit this, you'll now see that report that I just did, the one I'm on that we were playing around with, just generated. So you can see here it is. I moved, the main issues at the top. I've got the risks, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. So if I hit publish, this now publishes that report. And notice that I can download it, so I can export it, and this will download and export it as a PDF, which is wonderful. And then I've got it, mostly those of us that use PDF anymore today, right? I'm going to download it to my screen, my PC, and I'll probably email it to everybody before, or maybe I'll just keep it on my screen so I can, save paper and just, discuss it during the session. Now, also notice over here, I could go to any older report if I wanted to and bring that one up as well. So that's one way, and maybe this one, it was for, that high-level stakeholder meeting. Maybe this one was for just people that care about, the overall status and where we're at. So I can easily switch back and forth. Now, there's one other way. Let me scroll over to status report. Now, this is a list. So this is based on our common component grid. So you'll see from here, I've got actually all the status reports for this particular project or investment. Now, it's a lot. Maybe I just want to kind of finite it. So I'll use my filters over here, and let's select the status report status that we want. So let's just do at risk. So now I'm going to end up with just a few. So there's lots of ways to call up these different reports and look at what you want, past, present, future. Plus, it's clarity, right? You can also use channels and build a little portal into status reports for all investments and see the list across all your investments as well. So I think we offer quite a few things in this area.
I think you do. It's absolutely awesome. Project managers around the world are now turning to the Mile High City and bowing down in awe that you have made their lives so much easier. Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? Status reports are no longer a reason to lose sleep at night. They are no longer an excuse for skipping those 4 meetings because you've got 3 hours worth of work to do in 10 minutes to update your status reports before the deadline. Status reports with clarity are easy, and even easier now that Linda has shared her corner on status reports with us. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It's been an awesome experience. Once again, Linda, I live in awe. Join us again next time. We're going to look at even more corners of Linda's exciting clarity world. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Okay. Have a good day. Bye.